tension that we can't cut loose. If the light was on in our minds, we wouldn't diss ourselves so much all the time. We'd stop and realize, without disguise, we've got the power to change what's before our eyes. Where there is poverty and misery, we bring hope, joy, love, and security. There wouldn't be no need to lock your doors at night, cause no one lives in the dark and everyone sees a light. If we only knew what we could do, if we only knew what we could do, if we only knew how bad we are, if we make the sun disappear cause we're the brightest star. And if you feel the strength that help those who are weak, then we'll be stepping to the rhythm like Malcolm speaks. So you thought you were a chicken and your butt was made for kicking. You've been running around with your head hanging down, looking for chicken feed in this city of greed. Open up your eyes, don't you know you can fly like an eagle to the sky, much higher than high, where you don't need no crack, smack a patty whack, and all the bones from that dog you can give them right back. If we only knew what we could do, if we only knew what we
Abby O'Doon and the Last Poets, if we only knew what we could do. Opening the minds of each and every listener, including Brother Leroy, straight with no chaser. We're not taking calls immediately. However, we're going to take calls during this section of the Communicators. We did not announce this brother to you at the beginning of the show. We sent out emails, and he's on the air, brother that you hear very quickly, and then you say, man, I wanted to ask that brother some questions. Brother Dick Gregory, God bless you. Thank you for joining us.
My brother. Peace and love to you and the family, and hope your holiday was good, and we're getting ready to come in. This your last Sunday this year. You know that, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That was a time we were so scared of somebody said, this your last Sunday, we think we're sorry.
Brother, brother,
what did I do?
every show, you see what you just said, what did I do? Every show that we do here is by the grace of God. And I say that all the time. All the time, because innocent information that we present over the air is not what the slave master and others would like at all. So that's the state of black media in America today. I did an interview. This is very quick. I did an interview with a brother who's written a book on a paper that came out, a weekly that came out of here out in New York, out of Brooklyn, called The City Sun. And that paper ended, they went into bankruptcy, and the owner, he passed. But that paper was such an advocate.
It was so beautiful.
That it kept the politicians and the non-black politicians and the black politicians on point, because they would put information on the front of the paper, and it really aggravated people. And today we are dealing here in New York, we're dealing with these brothers who were framed for the Central Park jogger case.
Yes,
they spent years in jail. Now, 10 years after they are out of jail, the billionaire Bloomberg, who works for New York City for $1 a year, and people don't question that as to...
Yeah, please. Not counting them other contracts, huh?
Exactly.
$1.
He refuses to okay a payout to these brothers, and they've been sandbagging the case in court. But in a discussion this morning, it came up on another show, and I thought, having come out of my interview on the City Sun last night, I said, wow, if the City Sun were here today, that would be, the case would be front page, the frame-up would be front page, and it would be right in your face, and Negroes and blacks and others would have to mobilize, say, pay these brothers for the time that they were unjustly incarcerated. I just wanted to say that, brother, but the subject that is on a lot of folks today, a lot of black men and some Negroes and some people here, is the movie Django, which you told me go see. And when I went to see, I said it was like medicine for me, for Brother Leroy.
I've seen it. When I talk to you, I've seen it 7 times. I've seen it 9 times, and I saw it twice yesterday.
Now listen,
medicine. I know them all. I mean, I had the script.
Yeah.
Like 9 months before they started shooting. That don't mean nothing. When I went there, man, you could not. You see where I don't have to tell nobody about it, but did you see where at the end of it when Jamie Foxx's horse did that Michael Jackson.
No.
You know, he hesitated with his feet before he went. The lady was waiting for him.
Yeah.
And he got on the horse, and the horse backed back and then come forward with that little Michael Jackson. He taught him that. He has a stable of horses.
Jamie Foxx. Jamie.
Taught that horse, not for the movie. He just taught him that, you know, for his friends, man.
Wow.
And when I went out there to see the premiere, I mean, they canceled the red carpet and canceled the party after because of what had happened in Connecticut.
Yeah.
But I went out there. Jackson walked up to me. You know, the Uncle Tom.
Oh, Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson.
He walked up to me and said, "Man, my worst nightmare when I heard you was coming out. I hate the fact you have to see me as a Tom, man." I walked up to him after it was over. I said, "You get Academy Award on this. I didn't see the Tom. I saw the good acting." Okay, that's what I saw. And then my wife said she was going this way. I said, no. Find out when the next movie starts and get dressed. And every minute you miss it, you do a disservice to your DNA. Because I'm 80 years old. I saw the cowboy movies. There was no black. They wasn't killing blacks, killing white folks.
Right.
And you didn't see. So I would come home, man, through the alleys. So couldn't nobody see me because I was the Lone Ranger. Wasn't Tonto, Lone Ranger. And I was a grown man before I realized Kemosabe as it means the learned one in Spanish. Tonto means the stupid one. So I would come home. You a little young man, but did you see Gone with the Wind?
Yes.
Clark Gable. They say they always refer to him as tall, dark, and handsome.
Yes, indeed.
Rudolph Valentino. Have you ever heard him say Sidney Poitier or Harry? You ever heard anybody refer to him as tall, dark, and handsome?
Not a one.
Tall, dark, and handsome is a code word for white boys who's really black. That's where. So you know, Clark Gable had that little curly lock in front of his head, and so right before he said in the movie, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn," that little curly lock fell down his forehead, and he threw his head to the left, to the right, and flipped that curly lock up. I like to broke my neck that night at home trying to flip a nap back. And so I'm saying this is how I was hooked on the movies. I mean, I was hooked, man. I was so far up there. And now I get to see a real one. So I don't have to be a joke. I changed all my DNAs from all them white cowboys is way down inside of me. Look, man, I can't remember. I have to think before I can remember all my grandchildren. Gabby Hayes, that was in the movie. I can't forget the little ugly white boy with the old shabby, you know, like they were back in them days. And so now to go there and see that, my son Christian, he came out last night and he said, Dad, I just called you to say, oh man, what's the little dude that came out against the movie? Your man there that goes to all y'all bad basketball games.
Brother Spike Lee.
Spike, he says, Spike don't know what he's missing. Let me tell you something. What surprised me about, nothing surprised me about entertainers at all. What surprised me about Spike Lee, he did to this white dude what white folk been doing to us. He have a right not to like it. I think it's a pure hatred, but I think that's something else. That ain't got nothing to do with it. He said, I won't even go see it. It's derogatory to my ancestors. I said, wait a minute. That's what white folks say about us. We walk into school doing integration, and they determined we wasn't smart enough to get A or B. I mean, I had a teacher in college, man, told me, said, there's no way in the world you could have made that.
Right.
Negro, whose paper did you look on? Right. I said, mine. Okay? He did the same thing. How you going to criticize him and you haven't even seen it? Huh? And that's your game you in. Huh? And so you stop and you think, you say, it must be something deeper than that. something happened. That white dude, Quentin, hired more black folks in this one movie than Spike has had in his lifetime of movies. You know? And so when you stop and look, but I'm sure they criticize. Look how they criticize King. And now they can't put enough money to make a statue for him. You know? And so every year, 3 million Japanese would leave Japan, not live here, but leave Japan and fly to Atlanta to go to King's grave. So who cares about what some chump say about a movie that's out the box, man? And so I walked out of there, something inside of me, and then I learned two things. First, I learned stuff about slavery I didn't know, because I read it, but I didn't see a real picture. When you saw that dude, Jimmy Fox, with that slave, because see, I thought chain gangs, man, was jail. I didn't know that's how they traveled when they carried them from one location to another. And them chains on their legs, you saw the raw blood. It would look like hamburger meat had it been more, not that much blood. And then you see that. You see the sisters when they put in the hot box, what they did to women. You had no choice.
Right.
Huh? If you didn't have me, I didn't have to rape you. They didn't call it rape. If you didn't let me have you, I might rape your little 3-year-old daughter.
That's right.
And now we sit here now and think, like the song you just played a few minutes ago, if you knew who you were.
Right.
We can't know who we are until we get that stuff off of us. I mean, even if you find the folks that sing that, brilliant brothers, hey, man, you ever done drugs? Huh? Did you ever do this? Huh? Have you ever looked at white stuff? Huh? And then now all at once, see, we get degrees. One brother's hipper than another and hipper than another. But until it's like King and them say, before we tolerate that, we'll walk. All you got to do is pick a day in New York and call for a boycott of 4th of July. Even if you didn't do it with the economy the way it is, they couldn't take a chance. And they wouldn't. Who would they blame? Bloomberg? That's who they would blame. And so consequently, when you stop and think about, when you scratch a little bit down, then you find it. If they'd have been Jewish or Irish Catholic or Italian, would he said the same thing? Now, he might have. I'm going to give him the credit. I don't believe it. And if I had to bet on it, I bet he wouldn't. And so when you sit and see, but why do people have to respect us? Why? When I'll send my son or my grandson to fight for this chump, and while I'm over there, my grandmother gets shot in the back of the head 42 times, and I ask for permission to come for that and then go right back to killing some folks that I don't know. Killing some folks that I don't know. When they lynched the brother down in Texas, viciously tied him to a car, snatched his head, came off, and all of that. His son, man, I can't think of his name now. What is his name? Anyway, his son was had just joined the Marines. He was in North Carolina. They gave him a pass to go to the funeral, and he went right back. Thank God for you and radio shows like this here and the whole atmosphere. They caught them 3 dudes that killed him before they identified who the brother was. They did it so fast. That's when Baby Bush ran for president. He was governor. That's why nobody jumped on him the way they handled that. Now, I don't know what they'd have handled had they known he wasn't going. Had they known if he wasn't going to run for president. That's a different ball game. And so when you stop and think about what we have gone through and had to, and they said, well, look, sister, man, nappy hair and this and that and this and that. I didn't know when I was a little boy, when them white businessmen would come through our neighborhood at that night and walk off a sister we wouldn't even take to the prom. Until I got grown and realized through his eyes, he see that beautiful queen. He don't see a woman that's hands turn all brown and spots and all that. That's why glamour. Man, glamour, that's why at a certain time, they can't come out the house for people to see what they really look like. You know, but the sister, they say, wow, look at here. We didn't see that, okay? And I didn't see a real sister, because remember, where I live, you didn't see no African people. Only Africans came over here, went to college, and they talk about how smart they were, because they don't take them gin-drinking, knife-toting Africans, they don't let them leave there to go to college, because they wouldn't make it. So you saw one group of people, the African at the UN, and that was rarely, or the one if you went to college. And they wasn't wearing that African garb. They was wearing suits and ties, man. I said, they didn't even want to be African. And so you sit and you look at the mind. And so all at once you look around, and what am I seeing now? I saw it in Africa. What am I seeing now? I'm seeing a black woman. When I look at my wife, I see a woman that's the product of 5 or 6 generations of being raped by white men. So my old lady never been to a beauty parlor in her life. In her life. Huh? And we talked about, oh, so-and-so got good hair. I mean, you going to say something that the universal God made, you're going to determine if it's good or bad. Good hair.
Dick,
and so that's what we're looking at.
Dick, when you saw the movie, you saw the premiere, and you have interacted with people, you know, advising them to see the film. What has been the reaction? What are you clocking in the reaction of the males and the females?
Hey, man, I told a blind dude to go see it. He called me and said, thanks. I said, you couldn't. He said, I could feel the vibration. I could feel the vibration. Did you hear me? Nothing wrong with my ears. Huh?
Oh, man.
I heard it. You know, if that cop say, get over there, Negro. I'm blind, but I heard it.
Oh,
and
man.
I got over there. And can't see what corner he wanted me on. I went to right corner. So they called me back and thanked me and said, wow, here's what I looked for when I went to the movie the second time. Black folks, white folks in the movie. I stood outside, and none of them walked out with an attitude. Like Roots. When that boy picked up that whooping, Roots, he couldn't even hit the white boy. The Jesus thing came over. And they was fighting in school the next day. All kind of stuff, man. They running Roots now. You think it's an accident they run Roots for the first time in X amount of years the same time?
Exactly. Interesting.
You think? And so what happened is there was no bitterness, nobody angry, nothing. And I got to see the woman, what they did to her. And I got to see black manhood. And that's sad we have to see that. When King died in Memphis, the black brothers down there, the garbage workers, had a sign, I am a man. Anytime you got to tell yourself you're a man, you're not a man.
Yeah.
You was a man when you was born. And so I just sit out there and listen. The next 2 times I went to the men's room and told my daughter, go to the ladies' room and see what the talk is. And everybody was just happy. So I learned 2 things. I learned more about slavery than I ever knew because I could see it with my eyes. And I learned more about humor and comedy than I knew. I knew humor, comedy, but until I got there, because this thing is a comedy. This is as Shakespeare used to always write about. This is a comedy. And and he rewrote it. You know, this was a spaghetti western that came out in Italy. An Italian dude wrote it, and he just took the idea and changed it all around.
Okay, and what was the foundation that the subject matter that the Italian
Mussolini, but it's a cowboy. He made all them spaghetti westerns he used to send over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about Mussolini and how they would treat certain people and get away with it.
Did you ever see the Italian film? It was I'm pretty certain it was Italian. It was Uncle Tom's Cabin, and it's a film that was in the theaters back in the 60s for about 4 days.
The film what?
It was the film is called, if I remember
Uncle
correctly,
Tom's Cabin.
Uncle Tom's Cabin, but it had graphic portrayals of what we went through in the enslavement period. Now, there is an Uncle Tom's Cabin that is a softer version. Now, I don't know who put that out, but there's this Uncle Tom Cabin when it was shown in the 42nd Street area. Guys are almost rioting in the movie theater. That's why they pull the film.
Yeah, sure.
And I was thinking that
see, if you don't, you can show me the truth, but you can't leave me there intentionally. When I was a young boy, I keep saying I'm 80s, to let you know, way back then. I used to shine shoes and sell papers in the taverns. And when the brothers would get into a big fight and pull out the knives and the guns, you know what the first thing the owner would do? Go unplug the jukebox. Something in that music. The first thing he would run and do is unplug the jukebox. And so when you sit and look at this, and the respect they had for human dignity, not just the white folks they was after. They wasn't killing white folk. They wasn't killing white folk because they was slave owners. He was a bounty hunter, and inside hooked up with my man and made him a bounty hunter. So it's just like I'm a cop, and I go someplace. If I'm a real cop, I'm not supposed to see color, but that'd be hard for me to do, so I wouldn't even take the job. And so that's what I was looking for. The women, I stood outside, got there an hour early, and watched people buy the tickets. And when they came out, their back was straight. Their back was straight. They was holding each other's hand, because that was a love story about a black man and a black woman, but about all black men and all black women. We have that potential there. And so when you sit, and he wasn't evil and angry and mean, but like I said, and Quentin, you know how beautiful he is when he one of the greatest producers that ever lived and greatest film people that ever lived, and have nerve enough to write himself in the movie for about 5 minutes, and he get blowed up. Now, how many people got egos that they can keep under control?
Now, which one was he? Which one was he? He wasn't the one that came in there to cut the man's jewels. No. Remember
when he and them other 3 guys, when he convinced them y'all can go back there and get that money? $11,000 back there.
Oh yeah.
He was the one. He was the one when they went up to that stagecoach.
Okay.
With the dynamite.
Yeah.
He got blowed up.
Now listen. Now, the film is a tight movie. The pieces, you see a piece over here, and then it connects later on, and specifically. When he's riding to Candyland, and those brothers in the chain gang, and he makes eye contact with that particular brother, and there's a hatred on the part of the brother, my interpretation, because who does Negro think he is riding some horse? That's on the Chain Gang. That's the interaction there.
That's right.
That same interaction happened when they reach Candyland, and the top servant sees the brother on the horse. That same thing, but and then coming back when they're being taken to the mining camp, and the guy comes over to verify the story that the brother, the Django, had just told him about being not a slave. That was very, very. I mean, the way that thing worked.
To see a slave say such and such a thing, and be careful because the D is solid.
Yeah.
I mean, and when the white dude told the slave, "You're free now. We can kill all these folks. You're free. But if I was you, you know anything about astronomy? Just look up and follow that North Star." I mean, so much stuff. You miss it the first time.
Yeah.
Because you can't believe that there's anybody that feels that way about me. And I'm looking at people now and have to trace them all the way back. See, when I'm born, I'm looking at black folks killing black folks in the town. Why? Because they couldn't go nowhere. Guy asked me one time, "How come you black folks do so much cutting?" I said, "Because y'all won't let us have no guns. But there'll be a day we can put this knife down." And so that, to see it and feel it, not when black folks was walking down the street staggering drunk. It was, now to go back to Uncle Tom's Cabin, Harriet Beecher Stowe. See how quick I named that name? You had to help me with Samuel Jackson. See?
Yeah.
Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote that, Uncle Tom's Cabin. And that book sold more books than any book at the time. It opened up on Broadway, and they never had as many companies that went all the way around the world. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're clear.
They never had as many companies worldwide. Now, she didn't get the money because at that time they didn't have the laws where, all over the world, Uncle Tom's Cabin. And then when she got to Saigon, the king of Siam,
yes,
looked at it and said, "I'd like to put the money up for you to do this as a musical." Did you ever see The King and I?
Yeah, the movie.
That's Uncle Tom's Cabin. Did you hear me? That's Uncle Tom's Cabin. The big thing 2 years ago on Broadway is the...
oh, yeah. I remember
the Mormon...
Yeah, the Mormon thing.
Yeah, that's Uncle Tom's Cabin, man.
Well, hold on while we pause for station identification. This is the Communicators coming to you over WHCR 90.3 on the FM dial. And it's because of the unique programming that we bring you that I'm always asking you who have not contributed to the station to contribute, because each session that we do on the Communicators and Respect for Life is a classroom. The telephone number is 212-650-6903. We'll be getting to your calls right after this.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
God bless you. Thank you for your call. You're on the Black Air.
Yes.
I'm getting a reverb on your. How are you talking? You got your radio or your computer on in the back?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I got you clearer.
I hear you good. God bless you, ma'am. And happy holiday to you.
Happy holiday to you. Yeah, happy Kwanzaa to you, Brother Dick Gregory. The name of that movie was Farewell, Uncle Tom.
The one that I was trying to remember, the Italian-made one?
Yeah, it was only in the theater for like 4 days, like in the 70s.
Right.
Yeah, it was an Italian movie. It was called Farewell, Uncle Tom.
Okay.
Did you see the movie Men in Black?
Sister, did you see Men in Black?
Yes.
That's about Uncle Tom. You see, Uncle Tom is a shapeshifter.
Oh,
You see, how come a tom girl is a tough boy, a tomcat is a tough cat, but when come my turn, it gets weak? That's what you do when you control and want to lead people the other way. He went right, we tell everybody he went left. And so, consequently, a shapeshifter, they would, old men that could turn into a cat, mouse, a rabbit, or a gorilla. That's what it means when they say you have dominion over everything. Just like you can bark like a dog, meow like a cat, make a wolf sound. That's your lower level after they drained all that other stuff out you and belittled what you was doing that they couldn't do. And so all at once now, how can you sound like a kitten and then sound like a cat, then sound like a tiger, huh? That's what you. But you can also. I used to hear old black folks talking. Yeah, some black folks over there in Apple, white folks ain't gonna never mess with, 'cause they can turn into a gorilla or elephant. And I just thought they mean vicious. They could just fight this. I'm gonna take this. I didn't know until I was in Iran during the hostage crisis, 'cause I knew that was CIA in America, and so they wouldn't kill them. I didn't know if they would or not, but my presence, I went in and fasted for 90 days, and Khomeini and them would send his people by to bring me out to see him. And then he told me, he said, you have to leave this weekend. He sent his secretary. You have to leave this weekend because Iraq is going to attack us, a surprise attack on Monday. So, and he said, but thank you for being here. You are a beautiful Uncle Tom. And, you know, I know the way he feel about me, so it was my ignorance, right? But I knew, so I said to his secretary, I said, you got to explain this to me, man. Let me tell you what they told us Uncle Tom is. And then he explained to who the Uncle Tom was. It's the shapeshifter. And so what we would do if you and I were shapeshifters, we'd slip on the boy. Everybody going to hire no, going to steal no 70-year, 60-year-old man. So they would turn invisible. Invisible. And slip on the boat. And the brothers and the sisters knew there was something on there that wasn't right. That didn't mean negative. They could just feel the vibration. And then once we get here, we would station ourselves like 75 miles from the slaves' farms and homes and stuff. And we live out in the woods, in the bushes. And let's say that this black guy see this white slave master raping his 4-year-old daughter, and he didn't realize that once you killed him or hit him, other black folks gets punished. That just wiped out. He went and beat him to death. And now what they do is, see, a butterfly can fly all the way across the Atlantic or all the way across the Pacific Ocean, but the bald eagle can't make that trip. And what they do, they follow the wind currents. And so they would follow, you could get the right wind current, go, Richard, and it would come to me. I'd hear it. So they would get 2 or 3 of them, and they would meet at the farm. They got to get there for daylight, and they would eat that dead white boy's body, bones, hair, clothes, and all the blood on the ground. No, they were the vacuum cleaners. And then they'd be gone. That's Uncle Tom.
All right. We're going to another call. Thank you, my sister. Did you have a question?
No, I saw the movie, Brother Leroy. This is Sister Annette. I saw that movie on 86th Street and the East Side.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
God bless you. Telephone number 212-650-6903, 212-650-6903, and you're on the Black Air. Thank you for your call. God bless you.
How are you?
Excellent. Thank you.
Happy holiday to you and Brother Dick Gregory. I didn't see the movie yet, but I'm trying to get my family together to go see it New Year's Day. But what I wanted to do is ask Brother Dick Gregory about what's happening with Hillary Clinton. I don't believe she bumped her head.
Well, she did.
I believe the ancestors are dealing with her because of the way she rejoiced after President Gaddafi was killed. I think the ancestors are dealing with her because she's getting her comeuppance I don't think she bumped her head. I'd like to know what you think, brother.
No, see, we keep blaming stuff on people. We want to goes out of everybody. we can't figure out nothing. The Gaddafi has $300 million in the Kansas City Federal Reserve, okay? Did you follow Gaddafi's whole thing towards the end?
Go ahead.
When his henchmen got away,
Yes.
his wives, his girlfriends got away,
Right.
all his officers got away. So why would he stay? Man, that's his power. Now got to fry his own eggs and live in this little old spider thing they say he was living in, huh? And then they showed the picture of him where they was going his head getting lice.
No, is that wait a
Like-
minute? Wait a minute. You're that's the Iraq guy that was in. No, I'm sorry, not the Iraq guy, but that was the.
I'm sorry. Both of them still alive, okay? Both of them still alive. And all at once now, I'm asking you the question. All them they say they killed, why'd they stay back and everybody else got away? Huh? That's us. Those are the games we play. The folks that we put in, and all once them Chinese start coming over there, I'm saying, hey, we can give you more money than this. And so we go in and take them out. Take them out. That's how we do it. And the ancestors don't get involved with this filth that we in, because if they're going to get even with him, then they got to get even with us. Why? Because all the stuff he was doing, I financed it, and you did too with your tax money. Every time you bought a loaf of bread, you buy bombs and stuff that kill little children. So you better be careful what the ancestors are doing.
Hold on, Brother Dick. Hold on. God bless you. Thank you for your call. You're on the Black Air.
Yeah, God bless you, Brother Black Leroy, and to Dick Gregory.
Thank you.
And to your point, Dick, if she's talking about the ancestors going after Hillary Clinton, there's no telling what they're going to do to Barack Obama, because he's the overseer of it all, and he deserves far more than she ever will, based on some of the things that he's doing to poor people, white and black. Because when it's all said and done, he'll go down in history as being worse than Bill, Hillary, and the rest of them in decimating poor people and black people. But what I was really calling to say was, you know, it's amazing how we always talk about these movies like the Django and all the other things, but we never discuss what they did to black men. You know, more of the slave masters was raping black boys and black men on the same level that they was raping black women. But nobody discusses that. We need to start becoming honest in what really happened back in the day.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your call, my brother.
You do it. They wouldn't. Black comics couldn't go and work in white nightclubs until Hefner brought me in. I did it, and now comics are all over the world. Richard Pryor made movies that made more money than all the white movies put together. It don't take but one. You see, the universe works like this. One person can change your whole life, for good or bad, and being in the right place. That's part of the story of Jesus. Whether you like it or not, he go to one place, didn't work, they sent him another place. He went to another place until he got in the right place. And so consequently, you do it. It's not that difficult to do it. That's what I said. You can't get no blacker than me. Physically, I'll die for black folk. I'm listed in the phone book, man. I don't have no bodyguards. I had 3 white undercover cops. I walk every morning at 4 o'clock. I'm in Cleveland. They turn the corner. Dick Gregory, hey, what you doing in this neighborhood? It's the baddest. Hey, I'm the baddest dude on the block, man. I'm the baddest dude on the block. And if I get killed by some folks, I ain't never stole nothing from a white person. Maybe a grocery store. Black folks, if something about to happen to me, black folks, I ain't never done nothing to no white folks. I ain't never begged no white woman for, and she didn't get it. I kept begging her. Can't take no for an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Give us some more whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So my record ain't that clean. I got 10 children by a black woman. I mean, I produced 10 gods. Didn't ask me to qualify. How much money you got? Where do you live? What your hair look like? How much education you got? I produced 10 gods. And yet I never had an affair with my wife to produce another god. I just get me some yum-yum, man. Think about, I never bought a car. I didn't know the year, the make, the model, the down payment, the monthly notes, the trade-in value, the insurance. And yet, I never put that type of dignity into having a child. Now, there are people out here, black and white all over the world, that would never have sex with a woman at a time she couldn't conceive. I did. That's why Father's Day, I tell my children, y'all can celebrate it, but don't buy me nothing, man. I mean, and y'all know, children know something. They know, so that's why they're giving them old purple socks, man, for Father's Day.
Hold on, Dick. God bless you. Thank you for your call. You're on the Black Air.
Oh, good afternoon. Just some information. While I was listening to you, I Googled Goodbye, Uncle Tom. And it came
farewell.
Up, Farewell, Uncle Tom, and
Right.
the entire film is on YouTube.
Very interesting. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. See, that's why the show is so important.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important.
Beautiful.
That's what it's about.
And it's the give and take in the classroom that makes the teacher sharper. Because there's more students, there are more brains in there than the teacher.
Yeah. But the problem is, you talk to teach, you listen, learn. The give and take have to come a certain way and with no hostility.
Beautiful.
When I do talk shows and I say, when I can't see you, I greet everybody with God bless you.
Yes.
And according to the way they say it back, I better get ready for this hostile thing.
Okay, hold on. We have a caller. God bless you. Thank you for your call. You're on the air.
Hello. I was wanting to ask Mr. Gregory what he thought about, it's been a long time ago, but the film She's Gotta Have It.
Yeah.
And the
That's my daughter.
of women versus the film Django. And this man's
he got to have
perception
it.
of...
I'm sorry. What did you say?
In terms of his feelings, Spike Lee's feelings about Django, a film that he says he has not seen, versus a film that I've seen many times and in certain universities is greatly celebrated. I find it very offensive. And I don't ever hear black men say that they're offended by how a black man would make up a story like that and celebrate it, and people sit around and intellectualize it as if it's something, that needs to be, I mean, I can't fault young girls who want to do reality shows when they come in and out of their homes and they're treated this way and they're looked upon this way.
Okay.
And I never hear Spike Lee say anything about that.
Okay.
Not only that,
Thank
got
you.
to have it. He didn't take some tramp, wino sister who carried her a knife and a gun. That's about my college daughter. He reduced her down to a tramp. I've been to college, white college. I don't care how many times the system want to give up the yak. I see them white girls in the dormitory, sucking on one another's cheek and stuff, girls and boys, till 2 o'clock in the morning. But you wouldn't believe that what he wrote. So what ancestors, what kind of ancestors, I would even ask him that. Because if his ancestors got upset over that movie, then he must have some wolves and some dogs and some cows as ancestors. He denigrate his ancestors. But like I said earlier when I first brought up, if something happened with them two before, ain't got nothing to do with that movie.
Okay. Got it. Ladies and gentlemen, telephone number 212-650-6903. We're only a few more minutes with Brother Dick Gregory. This is one of those rare occasions when we have allocated the time for you to join in And the dominant part of our conversation has been on the film, The Django. Many of you have not seen it. And this is just a reaction on the part when this is a discussion on the reaction. I had a discussion with a brother this morning. He's got almost as many children as you got, brother. He said 9 of them plus the children were sitting around discussing this bad boy last night. He said, and it was off the chain in terms of what they were seeing in the film. It's very invigorating. Hold on. God bless you. Thank you for your call. You're on the Black Air. Turn your computer down, please. You're on the air. This is WHCR.
Yes, Brother Leroy.
Yes, sir. God bless you, my brother.
Yes, God bless you too, Brother Leroy.
God bless you, my brother.
Thank you too, Brother Gregory. God bless you too. I wanted to ask you, in reference to the movie, there was a scene that you mentioned about the brother that was in the wagon there, how he looked at him. I don't know if you remember near the end, after he got rid of them guys and told the boy told him in the wagon to give him the dynamite. Yeah. The camera went close up on that brother again, and if you saw his face, the admiration that came about his face and that hope. Yeah. You know, that's what I saw. I think that was very memorable in there because in the beginning he did have some look like animosity toward Django, but at the end he looked at Django as a real hero. You know.
Yeah, but you could understand that. Look at the Malcolm X said stuff about King.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And the civil rights movement. That's going to be there, but they worked it out. Not by having a conference, by just looking at what folks was doing.
Yeah.
Malcolm slipped in here for the March on Washington. Did y'all know that?
No. No.
I said, Malcolm, let me tell you what you missed. Harry Belafonte, Sammy Davis, Lena Horne have been invited to the White House. This is the most powerful capital in the history of the planet, including Rome. When King said comes once, this is the first time all black folks got an invitation to come to the mightiest city in the world. That's why we dressed up. That's why we didn't come to fight, man. Me and you gonna get in a fight tonight, but I'm not getting into that at my grandma's party because she had good parties. I'm gonna mess up her party. That's what it was. I said, Malcolm, he invited everybody. He didn't tell me I had to stop eating pork.
Wow.
And I didn't have to get searched when I come in. And if I ran this government today, I would. Hear me. I'd hire Nation of Islam to search at the airport. Let me tell you, the first time I went to the mosque, they found some stuff in my pocket I'd been looking for 6 months, man. You know. So you're right. And look, brother, go back and see it again because you see other things.
Okay.
You see other things.
And one last thing, can y'all comment on when President Obama did the news conference about that incident that happened with the 18 little kids and the other things, that he cried? Can y'all comment on that? Do you think them tears are legitimate?
Okay, all right. Thank you, my brother.
I'll hang up and listen.
All right.
Let me just say this. First, you're talking about in Connecticut, right?
Yes.
I can't jump on him because I cried. So my wife thought.
Yeah.
She thought I was calling this person. Man, you should have seen a brother cry. Baby, you abused me. You know, the type of crying where the snot come out your nose?
Yeah.
That's it. He didn't get down to that. But now, here's what we're looking at. Brother, did you see the last Batman movie?
No, he's off the line.
Is he still on the road?
No, he's off the line.
Okay. Well, if you can hear me, brother, and all y'all listening, if you've seen the last Batman movie, go back and see it again, because in that movie, they mentioned Sandy Hook, the name of the school. Okay? It's mentioned in the Batman movie. Okay? And nobody has ever asked anybody to explain it, you know, to explain it. And then again, when I was looking at it, because I think, Brother Leo, I called you early, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
Early, right when it was breaking.
Yeah.
And I said, keep your eyes on it, man. And so I told my wife, cancel everything, and the research, I said, cancel everything. Let's watch this and see where it's going. I saw ambulances coming in. I got the police scanner where they said, we need 2 more ambulances. Where'd they take them to? Danbury, Connecticut. You ain't seen nobody being interviewed from Danbury. You ain't hear nobody talk about nobody but the dead children and the dead teachers. Nothing else. Now, every school that gets tax money from the federal government, Homeland Security demands that you have drills twice a month of terrorist attack and how to get out. Okay? Now, the Danbury school that they tell us about, the high school is on the same campus. They had a dry run drill. They picked all the high school children up at 8 o'clock, put them on buses and carried them to a bowling alley, Whatever this was about little tots, so we can really get the sympathy of the whole world of what we're doing. The big ones was gone, okay? And so when you stop and think about, the mother, they say worked there. The mother ain't never been there, They say, well, here's a question you have to ask yourself. Why was the FBI involved? That wasn't a federal crime. If I come to New York today and rob a post office tomorrow, that's a federal crime.
Right.
If I go in Safeway and rob it and kill 42 people, that's not a federal crime. Okay? Now, what they demand, all schools, is you have to have video cameras on every exit and entrance to that school. How come we haven't seen the pictures of them going in or coming out? What's that about? What is that about? They show me pictures of 7-Eleven when a crime's committed.
Right.
I didn't commit in 7-Eleven. They say the scanner picked it up down the street. And I don't know why you folks that's against having guns. I would never have a gun. I used to. The civil rights movement changed me. I'd rather be killed by somebody than kill somebody. Now, let me tell you why I wouldn't be for teachers having guns and just anybody walking down the street with a gun. Yo, New York police, that's the greatest thing. Dude got shot somebody around. And cops came and shot 9 other people.
Right. Empire State Building.
Yeah, shot 9 other people. And they've been trained how to use a gun. Let me tell you, I came to New York City after that, and I saw 3 cops. You talk about breaking and running. The guy said, what's wrong? You do something? I ain't done nothing. But somebody might have done something, and they shoot me because we know they can't shoot.
Now, Dick, we're at the end, and in terms of...
Let me say this real quick.
Yes, sir.
I have, and I'll get that to you, I have the police scanner down there at Sunnybrook.
From Connecticut.
Connecticut, and here's what they say on the scanner. I'm not talking about 911.
Go ahead.
They say we got 2 of them ran past me. We got one in the car and the other one's on the ground in a prone position, and we handcuffed him. Oh, there's another one running my way with a gun. Okay? And then they put him in the car. And I said that the other day, and a woman at the post office said, yeah, I saw that. And after that, it was pulled. And so how did they get in? They came in dressed as nuns. So when they went to the door, they didn't see anything wrong, and they let them in, and they started shooting from the time they got in. So somebody got to explain about that meeting y'all told me they had and with the principal, the one y'all made a hero out of. If they were shooting, they said she jumped in front of the gun and tripped the button, the buzzer for the police. You see, they never got. And the last thing somebody got to explain to me, if you went in there and found all them children dead and the teachers dead, and you'd never seen this boy who y'all said did it, then how did you know that was him? How did you not know that was a school teacher? See, if he committed suicide, there's no cop that say, I saw him with the gun and I shot him. How did y'all know that? And then you go to his house and find out where he killed his mama. You believe that, huh? They tore up the computers. if I'm thinking to kill myself, what do I care about what you know about me? Unless I'm protecting somebody. Well, whoever went in there, the cop or the government, they tore it up because Mom worked for the CIA in the Defense Department, and her job was develop video games, violence that can lead into mind control. That's why they wiped her out, okay? So when you sit and you look at all this stuff they tell us about, don't believe none of it. None of it and none of it. And you'll never hear it. You'll never see it again. It'll never come out. That's what we are. And the reason they doing this, them white listeners you got, I hope they understand. You don't have to work for gun control to remove the guns. That's what they're going to do. Before they can overthrow this government, and they fixing to do it, they got to get rid of all them white boys with them guns, and they're going to take it from them. And if you don't believe that, check out Louisiana, Katrina. They went through there, and folks were so scared they started taking guns from rich white folks, poor white folks, black folks, school teachers, everybody. See, when you scare your people enough, you don't need a law. You just go in and do it.
Dick Gregory, I want to thank you very much, and thank
you.
Your family, your wife, for making these interviews possible. Much success in the new year. God bless you over and over again. Thank you for our audience.
Thank you, my brother.
God bless you. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to the Communicators. Tuesday night, we're on Blog Talk Radio, blogtalkradio.com, The Keys 107. Telephone number 213-943-3618, 213-943-3618. Brother Lloyd Strayhorn will be our guest this coming Tuesday night on Blog Talk Radio. We're on at 7 p.m. Once again, 7 p.m. New York time. Once again, 213-943-3618. If you don't have computer, you can listen by way of the telephone, 213-943-3618. God bless you all with a wonderful and a fantastic day.